Good morning, Emory. Good morning and welcome. It is August, which is unfortunately the time that we have to get back to work. But we do it a little bit differently at Emory. First of all, sixth graders, are you in the house? Where are my sixth graders? 107 sixth graders, the largest class we've ever had. Give it up for those kiddos. Seventh grade, your bar and bat mitzvah year. Please behave. Congratulations in advance. Eighth grade, you are now the top of the heap in middle school. Freshmen, you're now the bottom of the heap in upper school. Sorry, but welcome. Sophomores, where are my sophomores? Try not to slump. Sophomore slump, avoid the slump. Juniors, it's the hardest year you'll ever have. Enjoy. Where are my seniors? There are my seniors. There we go. Most of you are going to graduate, which is very exciting. And there are Vegas odds on which won't, but here's what's awesome. We have not done a one-school opening ceremony since these seniors were sixth graders. We're doing it again, and we're delighted to do it again. Now, for several years, we couldn't do it because we outgrew Becker. Which was a good problem, but kind of a sad problem, because all of a sudden, middle schoolers and upper schoolers, we weren't starting the year together, and we didn't like it. We tried it different ways. Now, because of that good problem, growth, we did something called the SEC. We built this gigantic new expansion that you will get to move into within a month. Now, how awesome is that? Now, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in today's theme in a little bit. First of all, I want to say not only now why we're doing it, one thing together, one opening ceremony together, how we're doing it together. This could not have happened but for my colleague extraordinary, Walker Fair. Walker, would you give him a thank you? Walker with Coach Ray Marshall around. He was here late last night till 11 p.m. helping as well. And Dominique and Marquise and the facilities team and the tech team, really, honestly, thank you. This is magical, and you made it happen, and it will look a little bit like commencement, right? So 10 months from now, seniors, it'll look a little fancier for commencement, but there's something very cool that we're starting here in Cosburg, and 10 months from now, we'll be back in Cosburg right before you go to college, which is kind of amazing. But you're going to have a great year before that. Now, let's start with summer stories. We always start with summer stories. I can't see you, so by a shout of just noise, tell me if you left the city of Houston. Just scream like cloud. Okay? All right? Tell me if scream if you went to camp. Okay, you know I got to do it. Scream if you went to Colorado. Scream if you went to Israel. Anyone go? Love that. Anyone go to Azerbaijan? Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, so I have a cousin who actually travels to places like that. God bless him. Anyway, okay. So here we go. Time to get rolling now. You know, because you're forced to know where I went, right? Where did I go? Yeah. Next slide, please. So last year, one of the seniors made this slide, okay? I spent 7 years at Emory, and all I learned is that Dow has 3 kids and vacations in Colorado, okay? Not very nice, but fair, okay? It's true, I do have 3 kids, and we frequently do go to Colorado, and you are forced to hear about it as a graduation requirement. I'm sorry, okay? It's true. And we went to Colorado again this year, but it was different. We didn't go nearly as long, and I'll get to that. We went to a different place. We went to Colorado Springs for various reasons that are unimportant, but we didn't go to where we typically go. Colorado Springs was awesome, though. But I want to start this morning by telling you about an unusual experience that I had in Colorado, or more specifically, my daughter. In Colorado Springs, there's this thing called the pterodactyl. So one morning, my oldest daughter, Eleanor, who was doing something for college, said, I can't do anything today or leave for the few hours. So I took my 2 younger kids who I thought might enjoy this experience. The pterodactyl is basically this gigantic swing that is perched on a cliff with a 200-foot drop beneath it, right? And you basically free fall. And you get 100 miles an hour within a few seconds as you are heading towards the ground, the stones, the death beneath you, okay? And I thought, well, that sounds like the perfect thing to do on a family vacation. So we did it. And the best way, though, for me to give a sense of it is to share this video. Roll the film, please.
Oh my God. Oh.
Okay, so now it is their turn. She's got a smile on her face, which is good. She's with Nathaniel, which is excellent since he's already done it before. He can kind of walk her through it. He's a bit nonchalant about it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. You can hear her screaming. Here we go.
Oh no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Oh my God. 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 Oh my. Ah! No, no. Ah! Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, Tracy. Oh my God.
I was laughing the whole time because you were screaming. She did it.
That was good. Yep.
Okay, that's it. That's Juliet. Now, I have to tell you, by the way, last night, Juliet was getting ready for school. It's their first day as well. And she said, Dad, am I in your dumb slideshow? Which she said with a lot of love. And I said, why are you asking? She says, because you always put me in it and always embarrass me, and I'd like to see if I'm in it. You might be in it. Show me the slides, Dad. We're not having dinner till you show me the slides. Anyway, she was not happy that I included that. There were some other still photos from the video, and the compromise, I would take those out. So if you know Juliet, please just send her a note saying it wasn't so bad, and she'll still have friends, and we're ready to move on. All right, so that was Juliet and the pterodactyl. I highly recommend it. Now, why did I show you that video? Really no reason. I just thought you'd enjoy it, and I think it's hilarious. But it does connect to something else, which is the following. I didn't, as I said, spend all of my time in Colorado. In fact, this summer was a little bit unusual in some ways. And that leads me to share something that is not this year's theme, but is closely connected with it. And here's what that is. It is the notion of opening yourself up to new experiences, to new ideas, to new people, to new perspectives, all right? For example, I broke out of my long tradition of always going to the mountains of Colorado, and this year instead, I went to the lakes of Michigan. Next slide. I had never spent time in small towns in Michigan. I had been to Ann Arbor, but never, for example, the Upper Peninsula, and these adorable little towns that are absolutely beautiful. Small, concrete example of get out of your comfort zone, do something daring. It was quite comfortable, but it was not my typical, right? It was like I said, okay, let's not do the mountains. Let's do something else this summer. I want you to do that, and you're going to see how that connects to our theme a little bit. Open yourself to new possibilities. I'll give you another minor but important concrete example. On this road trip through Michigan, through small towns in Michigan, I took a dog. Now, you know me to know that I like big dogs. My family, we're a big dog family. Always had big dogs, right? Golden retrievers, there's Stella, right? Shepherds, I've had 3 shepherds. I just like big dogs. I like big dogs. I like to be able to pat them on the side. I like their bark, right? I like the fact that they guard me. I don't lock my doors, right? I like that they chase balls. I like that. Now, I will tell you, we even had it's more than we liked big dogs. We kind of made fun of small dogs. You know what I'm saying? We made fun of small dogs and their owners. It wasn't nice. I'm not suggesting you do that. We would, see a small dog and call it a rat dog, things like that. which is not nice. It's not nice, but I'm admitting it. That was how I grew up. 5 boys, big dogs, always big dogs, made fun of small dogs. Well, this summer, I actually have to admit something. Just like 2 years ago when I admitted that I had become a Swiftie, I am now telling you, yes, Stuart Dow likes small dogs. I do. Wait. Millie! Come here, Millie! I mean, how can you not like this dog? She's so cute. She's so fluffy. She does no guarding whatsoever. You give her one little dog treat and it takes her like 17 minutes to eat it. It's the cutest thing. Now, by the way, Stella actually likes her. Admittedly, there was some trauma for the first few months, okay? There were some dog fights, and it turns out Millie never won. But nevertheless, she survived them, and that's important. Now, by the way, next slide, I have to admit to you, my mother, that's my mother. You know the whole idea of opening yourself up to new possibilities and new perspectives? My mother is 93. She turns 94 next month. At her age, her view is, nope, I don't have to open myself up. Her view is, and I swear I'm quoting her, Frida Dow says, I don't like big dogs, period, even Millie. And I'm like, Mom, but look at her. Oh, look at her. Oh my God, that was a little much. All right. Time to put Millie away, or nothing else is going to get done. Millie's owner, where are you? There we go. There she goes. There we go. All right, Millie. There you go. She's going to strangers. All right. So I like small dogs now. I admit it. What else? I went somewhere else other than Colorado and other than Michigan. I went to Wisconsin. Why did I go to Wisconsin? Next slide. I went to play golf with my son. That's the twin who was not at all afraid of the pterodactyl. Now we're getting closer to the theme. So I loved Wisconsin. We went to Kohler, Wisconsin, and we took hours and hours of golf lessons, and I'm here to tell you that I am still not good. But I absolutely love to play golf, and I actually love to watch golf. Next slide. If you don't know, this is Scottie Scheffler, UT graduate, and the #1 ranked golfer in the world, by far. Earlier this summer, before the British Open, which is one of 4 majors in golf, annual majors, Scheffler was interviewed. And now we're getting to something serious that Scheffler said that was surprising to many people. Scheffler was interviewed, and he made comments that I want you to hear. Now, statistically, of course, even though he's great, and he's clearly the #1 player in the world, as a matter of statistics and probability, he's more likely to lose a tournament than win, because every PGA tournament has about 150 players, and these guys are extraordinary. They're professionals. So just statistically, he's more likely to lose than win. And so in response to that reality, that is of losing, I want you to hear what Scheffler said. He said, I hate it. I really do. I'm kind of a sicko. I work so hard for such little moments, but I love putting in the work. I love getting to practice. I love getting to live out my dreams, right? All that makes sense. He's a professional athlete. He doesn't like to lose. So then, what is his reaction, you ask, when he wins a tournament, which he's been doing a lot of lately? He won that British Open. He won this past weekend, the BMW Championship. When he wins, how do you think he reacts? And this is the part that surprised people. Listen to what Scheffler said. You win it. You celebrate. I hug my family. It's an amazing moment. But then it's like, okay, what are we going to eat for dinner? Life goes on. It feels like you work your whole life to celebrate winning a tournament for like a few minutes. It only lasts a few minutes. And then Scheffler said this. So it's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of the deepest places of your heart. In other words, the best golfer in the world today, who has dedicated his entire life since he was a little boy to the sport, is reminding us that there was something beyond professional accomplishment, beyond garnering prizes, praise, prize money, trophies. What matters most is this. Next slide. Something greater. And that, my friends, is this year's theme. Now, interestingly, another world-class athlete, this time from the sport of tennis, said something similar last spring when delivering a commencement address at Dartmouth College. Next slide, please. As TAPS Coach of the Year David Lombardi and our state championship varsity tennis team knows, this behind me is Roger Federer. Federer is universally regarded as one of the greatest professional tennis players of all time. Get this. He played over 1,500 singles matches in his career, and he won almost 80% of them, and he won an astonishing 20 Grand Slams, which are the most prestigious and the most competitive of all tennis tournaments, including Wimbledon 8 times, which no other person has done. When Federer was 14, he left his home in Basel, Switzerland, to attend a specialized school in the French-speaking part of that country. And at first, he was homesick, like we probably all would be. But over time, and note how this relates to my earlier comments about opening yourself up. Over time, even though he was missing his home and his family and his friends, he said he began to appreciate the world, experiencing different cultures, exploring new things, and undertaking what he called life on the move. In that Dartmouth commencement speech, Federer shared that at the time, he also came to this important realization. He said, and I quote, next slide, "I knew that tennis could show me the world, but tennis could never be the world." In other words, Federer also recognized that there is something greater. So then you're asking, Dow, what exactly is that something greater? And the answer depends on you. It depends on the person answering. For some, it's religion. For some, it's a cause. For some, it's community. But in every case, something greater is about minimizing our individual egos for a bigger purpose. And that's the theme that we're going to be exploring this morning and throughout the year. Please welcome our first student speaker, SGA President, Kayla Whitman. Kayla.
To me, something greater is simple. It's serving others. It's what I know best, and it's how I've been able to contribute to the greater good of my school community. When I first started student government in 8th grade, I just wanted to try something new. However, I quickly found purpose, advocating for my peers and tackling issues in my school community. That passion has guided me throughout my high school journey and allowed me to have countless opportunities to lean into service. One moment in specific stands out. Last year, in the midst of my extremely stressful and busy spring semester junior year, I stayed after school for 8 hours straight, decorating the commons for the winter formal dance. How could decorating possibly take this long, you may ask? Well, to all the seniors, juniors, and sophomores out there, I hope you remember the La La Land City of Stars, or the thousands of lights suspended over your heads. Because the SGA rolls on a tight budget, we didn't hire professionals. We recreated the Los Angeles night sky ourselves. We hung 300 individual LED light strands, one by one by one. God bless Gray Warren, but with nothing but safety pins, tape, an aerial construction lift, and a questionable number of ladders, it felt more like a construction site than a school dance setup. So it definitely wasn't exactly the Friday night that most teenagers dream of. But when I walked into the Commons the next evening and saw it transformed into a glowing, magical space, it was worth every single minute. The lights shimmered like stars, and I certainly didn't feel like I was standing in my school cafeteria. Most people probably didn't even think twice about how the lights got there. But I knew, and that made it even more meaningful. Looking back, I'm not sure how the SGA pulled it off and that the lights didn't fall crashing down on everyone. Our engineering is really impressive, but regardless of how we did it all, I know why. Because serving others is worth it. The winter formal dance is the one night a year when the entire high school comes together as a community. Everyone dresses up, sets the stress of school aside, and we all share in the same joy. It's the SJ's job to plan this and create a meaningful night for the student body. Some people may only see the decorations or the policies that we vote on, but for me, student government has always been about something bigger, serving our school and making an impact for others. So WinFo this year might be 301 individual fairy lights, but more importantly, it will have the same spirit of students serving students, of a community coming together to make something unforgettable, and that's what something greater means to me.
Thank you, Kayla. All right, it's time for a little music now. By the way, as the band and the performers are coming forward, I want to remind you that they had like fewer than 5 days to pull this off and get ready. The work that they've done, both the presenters and the musicians, in such a short time is extraordinary. I think you know most of them, so let's see. Hold on. The band, I'm going to step out of the way while they take their positions. So Margot Levy and Seb are playing drums and keyboards. We have a faculty band that includes Mr. Hatch, Dr. Reyes, Rabbi Vernon, Kelly Dean, Jeff Natter for the first time in how many years have you played saxophone now? 18 years, picked up his horn. They're directed by Kevin Cowart, of course, Kelly Dean behind me. Ms. Clark will play keys on another song. And now here we've got Natalie, Sydney, and Tegan are going to sing Something Big. Let's do it, ladies.
It's like an anthem that the whole world is singing. Hands are in the air, hands are in the air. Whoa. Something big, I feel it happening out of my control. Pushing, pulling, and it's grabbing me. Feel it in my bones like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Something big, I feel it happening. Oh, whoa. The ground will shake. If we clap our hands, the walls will break. Yell so loud, we'll forget our name. 'Cause something big is happening. Raise it up, we're
Hans, awesome, thank you. Thank you, band. All right. 2 more speakers now. Please welcome Brandon Sarkin and Violet Goldman.
In life, I strive for connection, whether it be Emory, friends, football, family, my synagogue, or youth groups alike. Making connections feels easy to me. I'm a social butterfly. I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, when is he going to start talking about BBYO? I have news for you. It's not happening today. You see, sometimes people aren't as fortunate as I am in terms of social skills. This became evident to me when I spent my time this summer at URJ Green Family Camp in Waco, Texas as an avodah, which is Hebrew for work, or more traditionally known as a counselor in training. We were taught how to deal with kids at camp and how to drive change in the future of the Jewish youth. One of the core parts of the program is being paired with a bunk to then apply those skills you learn hands-on in the avodah curriculum. There, amidst a group of 6th and 7th graders, I met Cameron Moore, an 11-year-old neurodivergent boy who lived at camp year-round. He acted for attention. He was rebellious. He would wander off whenever he wanted, and he had struggles making friends. On the 3rd day, I took a step back from spending meals laughing with my friends and decided to sit next to him at a meal. In that moment, when I sat next to him at lunch for the first time, I saw inside of him a piece of 11-year-old me, and I knew exactly how it felt to be in his shoes, to act for attention and to be rebellious. I immediately knew how I could make Cam's experience better. I used my memories of what my counselors in Avodah did for me when I was having a hard time at camp, and I made it my mission to make sure Cam had the summer of his life. I continued to sit next to him at meals and acted as a bridge between him and the other campers. If no one was talking to him, I would give him the attention he needed. Overall, I ensured he had a good time. Over time, I would see the seeds of friendship I helped Cam plant sprout into real friendships. I saw him become friends with his bunkmates and create bonds, real, genuine connection. I hope you take this with you. Look for the Cam in your life. Because sometimes, all it takes is one person, one moment of attention to make them part of a Kehila Kadosha, a holy community, to make someone feel a part of something greater. Thank you, and have a good year.
When I first volunteered in Moshi, Tanzania, I set foot on the school grounds under the impression that I'd be spending my days teaching classroom lessons to students. And yes, while I did spend significant time doing so, I've come to realize that my time in East Africa was more so defined by learning about myself and about others rather than teaching. I remember an early recess of ours. A group of girls that I didn't yet know sat me down and began braiding my hair. And though we hardly shared a language in common, by braiding my hair, they welcomed me with what I hadn't realized we did, our universal capacity to offer love and hospitality. Just a few days before, I was stuffing bags of granola in my suitcase and anxiously wondering about the trip ahead. But those girls reminded me that we can always offer kindness and welcome those we may not yet know. My time was filled with lessons like these, ones learned simply by spending time with these children. I often seek to emulate their positivity and creativity, like the time when our shoes were caked in mud from the rainy night prior. And instead of joining me in my frustration, they simply found joy in crafting little clay animal figurines and one very lumpy teacher, who I still, to this day, like to think wasn't me. And the gratitude, though, that they held, in this case, an appreciation for the mud that had just ruined our shoes, was everywhere. Before every meal, they thanked God for their food, they thanked their teachers, their school, and their opportunities. I always had something to learn, whether it was about my attitude or even about African culture. One afternoon, as we stood on the classroom porch, hovering our hands over the grass, the kids and I played with a homemade bright orange oobleck. As it dripped down to the ground beneath us, Amani, an always curious kid, asked me, "Are you in a tribe? What tribe are you in?" with an inquisitive look on his face. And well, this may come as a surprise to some of you, but no, I'm not in a tribe. And while inviting me into his tribe, exclaiming that anyone is free to join, he explained to me what it meant to be a part of one. A group of people who empower one another to become better versions of themselves by sharing cultural norms and community mindsets, often connected by a variety of things, whether it be history or culture or values or experiences. Thinking back on my time in Tanzania and my conversation with Amani, I've come to realize that perhaps in many ways, the children at Uru Academy, the teachers and the residents of Moshi, and even the other Emory volunteers have offered me the experience of being a part of a tribe, an international one, and that if we were separated into individuals, I'd be deprived of the most meaningful educational experience of my life. This opportunity to step out of my comfort zone and connect with others has helped me realize that we often learn most from those unlike ourselves, about who we are, who we share this world with, and who we have the capacity to be. These short stories hopefully give a glimpse into the lessons I've learned and the human I've become as a result. With that, I encourage you to find tribes of your own that will allow you to learn as I have. And yes, you can find plenty of that here at Emory, but in my experience, finding something greater can help you become someone greater than you are now. Thank you.
Really well done. Really well done. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Violet. Some of what Violet said will be referenced in the annual tradition. It is time for that video, this year's version of Dow Hits the Streets. So let's hit it. Hi, everyone. It's Stuart Dow here. It is August, and that means it's back to school time. At Emory, of course, we start our school year differently. We start it with an opening ceremony that is fun, that is joyous, a little bit crazy, but always has something serious and has a theme. Well, as part of Emory's annual opening ceremony, of course, I always hit the streets. We create a video where I ask strangers about our annual theme. This year, we're doing it a little bit differently. There's a lot of reasons for that. I am standing here on campus, but behind me you can see this extraordinary new addition called the SEC, the Sports and Engineering Complex. And that got me thinking, and some other things got me thinking about this year's theme, which is something greater. Something greater. What does that mean? Something greater than ourselves. How do we give? How do we contribute? What do we care about that isn't just about us? So as part of this year's annual theme and Dow Hits the Streets, I went to 3 different kinds of groups. First are 2 older gentlemen who have done very, very well in their private business and decided that for them, not only is something greater volunteering, but it's also giving. And but for people like those 2 gentlemen and their families, we wouldn't have this unbelievable school campus and especially this addition. I also went to 2 women who've decided that for them, something greater doesn't come necessarily in the form of donating money, but it's donating time and talent and energy. And you're gonna meet 2 very different but amazing women who also have done something by going greater and giving back to the world in ways that have profoundly changed it and made us better. And then finally, of course, I did go to some strangers, some little kids, and I talked to them about something greater. And honestly, I'm not really sure they understood a word I was saying, but they're cute, so you'll see them in the video too. All right, have a great year. Like, what's your favorite part about school?
Coloring, but not going to the principal.
Yeah, not going to the principal. I agree. That's bad.
You'll get in trouble.
Like, what's your favorite subject? You're the first board president, my boss. You're still my boss. You'll always be
How come you never do what I say?
Well, you should fire me. Well, it is an absolute pleasure to be here with Bruce Caress, who has been one of the school's most important, generous supporters, donors. I can't thank you enough for what you've done.
Well, it's our pleasure to do these things. We've gotten a lot of joy out of it.
I was searching for a way to make a real difference in the world. I mean, that was what was clear to me. Like, I wanted to do something that would matter.
I actually did my very first presentation about Africa at a Mahmad at Emory in 2007 after I had visited the continent for the first time. I think this is my third appearance at a Mahmad.
Given to every single campaign at the school, it's just an extraordinary record. When you think about what's greater, something greater, what does that term, that phrase mean for you?
Well, I think the Emory Wiener School is an example. The education of our young Jewish kids. It's where the future of our nation and our faith lies.
Rona and I, my wife and I, were at Rebecca's office, and she showed us what was going on and what she wanted to do and what she would like for us to do. We agreed that we wanted to participate. And what was interesting is I thought they were going to build this stadium where all the fields are. Finally, we reached a time where she said, let's go take a look at the land where we're going to build the stadium. We walked out the front door, and instead of going where I thought she was going, she walked over to the fence, and there was a big field there. And I looked at the field, and I about passed out because it happens to be the field where the apartments were that I lived at when I was 14, 15, 16 years old.
That was back when your mother was raising you as a single mom, working as a secretary for Congregation Emmanuel.
Yes. So it was like it was beshert, okay? It was meant to be.
Is there ever a time where kids on the playground are doing something where it kind of makes it less fun or less good for other kids? No, that never happens. That just happened when I was a child. Really? The playground is always amazing? It is? Well, then that's the lesson. We've got to make the world a playground.
I mean, at the time, our generation was known as the me generation. People were absolutely convinced we all wanted to go work in banks and make a lot of money. And I just thought that label wasn't right. I felt I was one of thousands of people who were just searching for a way to make a real difference in the world. I was convinced that the issue wasn't the generation, but rather was the recruiters that were all banks and consulting firms just banging down our doors, asking all of us liberal arts graduates to commit just 2 years to work in their firms. And it's what led to this idea. Why wasn't our generation being recruited as aggressively to commit 2 years to teach in low-income communities in our country as we were being recruited to commit 2 years to work on Wall Street? And the minute I thought of it, I thought this had to happen. Let's channel all this talent and energy into classrooms where we can make a huge difference. And secondly, I thought, how different will our generation's priorities be if our first 2 years out of college are working in schools in low-income communities instead of working in banks?
So now, first of all, Alex.
What?
You brought some snacks, I see.
Yeah.
Now, what's the first rule of snacks in groups? What do we do?
Eat.
That's a good one. I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with hair. Bear.
That's bear hair.
It was a bear. A long time ago, this was a bear. This was a grizzly. No, not really. How about share? How about share? Can I have one little cracker? I think it would be very nice to. Oh, that is so nice. Just one. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I see that. So let me ask you a question. Are you bringing more snacks? Oh, you threw your bag away. That is so good of you. Do you know why that's good?
Why?
Will you tell me? Why did you do
The
that?
turtles.
The turtles?
Yeah, because they live in trust.
Oh, that's why you don't put them in the water, right? Why you don't put plastic in the ocean?
Yeah.
Yes. So we gotta protect the world, don't we?
I have the words "one step at a time" tattooed on my foot. There's a quote that says by Marian Wright Edelman, and she said, if you have a problem with this world, you have an obligation and a responsibility to do something about it. And she went on to talk about how this can be an extremely heavy calling, but how you just do it and you do it one step at a time. As I continued to grapple with all of these things around me, I got to Tanzania and I felt like it was just everything I had been looking for. And it was on my 20th birthday, and here are these extremely poor children living in complete destitution decided to throw me a birthday party. And they had taken me away so they could set up, and they had all these little decorations and sheets that they hung as drapes, and they put on a stereo. And the first song they played at the party is this One Step at a Time. And it just felt like such a sign.
Do you have any pets? What do you have?
A cat.
You have a
She
cat?
bites.
She bites? You have a cat that bites?
She loves my mama.
She loves your mama. Well, that's nice. So, by the way, at Emory, we have lots of cats.
No stopping us, meow. No stopping us, no stopping us, no stopping us, meow.
Yeah.
He taught me to that.
You went swimming? Do you ever think about, like, how to make the world better? You don't? You don't? Okay, well, this is an interesting experiment that may or may not have worked. So what do you say to this generation of students who will inherit the world? How do they stay positive?
When I hear young people say, well, if it gets much worse, I'm going to go somewhere else. And I always ask them, are you sure? Where is the somewhere else that's going to be better? Instead of running away because you don't like what's going on, why don't you stay and fight for what's right?
I'm so glad I got into this when I did, because the biggest thing you realize when you get into these arenas of tackling these big challenges in the world is that the problems are solvable. For all of you students, like, I just want to encourage you to step back and really reflect on your values, what you want your life to be about, because your most valuable resource, and I would actually say the world's most valuable resource, is your time and energy. Like, your time and energy. Like, what you choose to do with it matters so much to this world of ours. I would just encourage you to be super intentional about what you do with your most precious resource.
Despite how many different obstacles I've had to face, I still don't believe that it has been too hard for anybody else to not do it. So your presence, physically being on Earth, actively makes a difference, whether it be a positive difference or a negative difference. There's no in between, because it's like a moving sidewalk. So, like, you're either walking with it, standing on it, or walking actively against it. And when you stand on it, you're ultimately still moving in one direction. So if you think about that in terms of making a difference, if you're just standing, not doing anything, you're ultimately working against the system because you're not helping to make it better. So in any aspect of life, you should still try to find a way to make a part of your life a gift to those around you.
I can feel.
You can feel it. Yeah, you want to feel
Can
it? Gentle! That was very rough. Oh, that's lovely. That was unusual. But that's lovely. Oh boy. Okay, let's.
And
Oh,
it's
I used to do that.
and
All right. Well, guess what? I think it's time to say goodbye.
goodbye.
Goodbye. Wait for the mirror.
Goodbye.
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 Bye. You gotta tell me something. What?
Yeah.
A couple of shout outs, a few shout outs. The logo is care of Melissa Berinsky. I know some of you know Ms. Berinsky. She's awesome. Thank you, Melissa, for your work on the logo. And that video and all the videos today are care of Kay Parker, who's amazing. Thank you, Kay, for all your work. So I want to pivot. I want to pivot from lighthearted humor to something that is admittedly very somber, because we should. In early July, the Guadalupe River flooded, and the tragedy that ensued was unimaginably heartbreaking. At least 138 people died, including more than 35 children. Those impacted by this absolutely horrendous event included families in the Emory community. I raise this very painful subject because it prompts perspective related to our theme about what matters most, including the sanctity of life and unseen heroism. I want you to consider these two young women behind me and what they did as it was reported by the press at the time. And I quote, "A quiet night in the mountainous region of Kerr County, Texas, turned into a nightmare when the Guadalupe River surged violently through a Christian summer camp, Camp Mystic, before dawn on Friday, July 4th. Torrential rains swept through the area, destroying cabins and sweeping away anyone in their path. Amid the devastation, a single act of courage carried through the darkness. Two 19-year-old Mexican women, Silvana Garza Valdez and Maria Paola Zarate, managed to save the lives of 20 girls under their care in the middle of the chaos. Their story has since become a symbol of bravery and resolve during the most terrifying hours of the storm. Some of what ails this world is not in our control, like Mother Nature, but much is, like human indifference. I urge you this morning, this year, and always to consider your role in helping shape this place that we share. Please welcome to the stage Senior Ben Lipo. Ben?
Morning, everyone. We are all so lucky to have the privilege of going to this school and not worrying about where our next meal will come from, the roofs over our heads, or when the next time we will have something to drink. However, in the 10th grade, we have the opportunity to see things from a completely different perspective. One where these meals, shelter, and water aren't just not guaranteed, they're sought out because of their scarcity. When we were told about our upcoming trip to Los Angeles, I, along with others, mainly focused on how much fun we are going to have with each other, going surfing, Santa Monica Pier, and making great memories. While I knew we were going to see and learn about lives so different from my own, it was not my focus. On one of the first days of the trip, I went to a store with my friends and impulsively bought a Bobby Boucher jersey for $200 for them, as it was from my favorite movie. I was excited in the moment to be wearing this awesome jersey, but right after, I realized that I'd basically spent all the money I was given for this trip. My biggest worry was how I was going to make it through the week with barely any money left. How was I going to buy all the souvenirs and things I saw or snacks? But later that same day, Skid Row was on our itinerary. For those who don't know or haven't been on the trip yet, Skid Row is one of the most densely populated homeless communities in the entire country. Streets of just immense poverty. As we walked up, we saw hundreds of people pitching tents or lying in the heat with absolutely nothing, barely even the bare necessities. Seeing that alone struck me. These are entire families trying to huddle under one tent or eat off of one plate as we were walking in a group of 90 privileged children on a school trip. We walked together through the community, handing out snacks and water to those who wanted and trying to bring something positive to their days. A stark contrast from the nice store we were at earlier where I bought my jersey. As we were walking, I felt a light tap on my shoulder, and I turned to see a boy around my age, tired and sick, pleading with me if I could give him just a little bit of water. He said he hadn't had a drink of water in 2 days. In that moment, I kind of froze. I had never seen such poverty, especially not this up close. And to see someone who was exactly my age ask me for water really touched me. I said, of course, and handed him my personal water bottle, for which he was immensely grateful, drinking the entire bottle immediately after it reached his hands. Just hours earlier, I'd been panicking over not having enough money for snacks and souvenirs, knowing that if I really needed it, I could ask my parents or a friend. Well, this kid was fighting alone to survive without the most basic human need, water. It opened my eyes to see someone my age in such a desperate time of need for even the most basic of necessities. Who was I to be worried about such a trivial thing as having my favorite snack on our air-conditioned bus? Who was I to be worried about whether I could buy a magnet to add to our family's souvenir collection? Immense gratitude flowed over me as I saw all the things that we had, even the most simple ones that I don't think about, of which a kid on Skid Row would do anything for. And gratitude led me to see something greater, something beyond myself. In Judaism, of course, there is the concept of tikkun olam, repairing the world. While one water bottle may not repair the world, it showed me all the opportunities we have to help because of the privilege we are so lucky to have. While we all may not go out and create service projects, donate schools, or build homes, though some will and should bestow the opportunity to, as we start this school year, I urge each of us to see and understand the true privilege we have, sitting here in this new AC gymnasium next to our friends, because that is not the case for everyone, not even for most people. I urge you to remember to open your eyes and see that there is something greater than ourselves and our small problems, and to be incredibly grateful for even the little things that we may take for granted. Even seeing that can lead us to help the ones around us in a way that is much bigger than any of us alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Time for another song. Please welcome back to the stage Natalie Fleischman, Cindy Washington, Tegan Fingerette, accompanied by Ms. Clark. Ladies.
There's a hero. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. And there's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. It's a long road when you face the world alone, and no one reaches out a hand for you to hold. You can find love if you search within yourself, and that emptiness you felt will disappear. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth, and that a hero lies in you. The Lord knows dreams are hard to follow, but don't let anyone tear them away. Hold on, and there will be tomorrow. In time, you'll find a way. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth, and that a hero lies in you. And that
Really beautiful. Thank you so much. So a few final thoughts before we close. Now, let's be clear that to accomplish anything in life, especially if it's significant, whether it's personal or professional, but especially when it's aspirational, ambitious, it will be hard. It will involve inevitable setbacks and thus require perseverance. The ancient Greeks had a myth called Sisyphus about a man who's condemned to push a big boulder up a mountain. And every time he gets to the top of the mountain, the boulder rolls back down. And his charge is to do it again forever. Well, that idea that you just must keep pushing and forging and trying, that's captured or epitomized by Sisyphus, it's sort of something I experienced back on that Michigan trip. Let's take a look.
Okay, Stuart, now here we are at Sleeping Bear Dunes. It's
4:45.
He is going to attempt to do that, which is climb the Sleeping Bear.
It is very, very long and tall and steep and sandy. I'm just gonna play like I'm just in a big sand trap. All right, here we go.
Okay, good luck. Just sort of point out that's a boat down there.
The bottom of this sand dune in Lake Michigan, right along Lake Michigan, and so there it is behind me. You can see that. And I have never in my life seen a sand dune like this. There it is. I don't know if you can see that. It's right behind me. So there it is. That's the big climb. And it's now about 8 minutes before 5. And people, I can't even tell you how tired they look. A lot of people were just like, you're too dumb. Don't do that. You're old. But it's too late because now I got to get back up.
Wait, do you want to just go right there to the top? Do you want to do? You got a what?
Rest. Oh my God. That's a bad idea.
How did you feel about the Sleeping Bear that you climbed?
Number one, I was warned not to do it for a variety of factors, including my advanced age. I should have heeded those warnings. My heart is probably about 140 right now. And my heat, I'd say my temperature is like 105.
Okay, I gotta tell you, by the way, if you ever get to Bear Dunes, whatever it's called, it's unbelievable. I actually did for a few minutes during the climb think I was gonna die. And by the way, if you have to be rescued, the Park Service charges you $3,000 to come get you. And yeah, I know. And so I thought, I'm going to die and lose money. Anyway, so it was just terrible. Okay, so bad jokes aside, I wanted to show you that as a metaphor because it's true. You are going to struggle. It's inevitable. Let's go back for a moment to Roger Federer, that extraordinary tennis champion I mentioned. You might recall his record, which is just mind-blowing, that he won 20 Grand Slams and nearly 80% of all of his career matches. But intentionally, I omitted another statistic, and that is this. Despite all of his career victories, Federer only won 54% of the points that he played. Now think about that. Barely more than half. Here's what he said about this interesting fact during that Dartmouth commencement speech. He said, and I quote, When you lose every second point on average, you learn not to dwell on every shot. You teach yourself to think, okay, I double faulted. It's only 1 point. When you're playing a point, it has to be the most important thing in the world, and it is, but when it's behind you, it's behind you. This mindset, said Federer, is crucial because it frees you to fully commit to the next point and the next point after that with intensity, clarity, and focus. It's the perfect idea or mindset to have when you think about something greater. It's necessary strategy that we all have to adopt. And now, to bring us home for this first one opening ceremony we've had in 7 years, please welcome back the OC band and the singers with Be the Change. Guys.
Turn on the news this morning, feeling the fear inside. Why does everybody fight? We should be unified. Where can we find the answers? What is the remedy? How can we fix what's broken? It's an emergency. We need a revolution. And it begins right here. Stand up and face the future. Stand up and be the change. You don't have to be forever. Don't have to be afraid. If we can stand together, then we can make it right. If we can fight the battle, love will win it every time. Stand up and face the future. Stand up and be the change. You don't have to fear forever. Don't have to be afraid. If we can stand together, then we can make it right. If we can fight the battle, love will win it every time. Love will win it every time. On the outside we're different, inside we're all the same. If we can stop and listen, learn how to make a change. Don't need to be divided, we need to fight our pride. Just need to see the beauty everyone has inside. We need a revolution. And it begins right here. Stand up and face the future. Stand up and be the change. You don't have to fear forever. Don't have to be afraid. If we can stand together, then we can make it right. If we can fight the battle, love will win it every time. Love will win it every time. Oh, be the change. Be the change. Stand up and face the future. Stand up and be the change. You don't have to fear forever. Don't have to be afraid. If we can stand together, then we can make it right.
you so much. Before we release, y'all were amazing. None of this could happen without my partner in crime, JBC. Wherever you are, JBC, thank you. Amazing. Please give another warm round of applause for the student speakers over there in this band.